the heck are you guys? I am Fastidious. Big friendly welcome to J Gigs. How you doing, Gigs?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I am doing well. And yeah, we're talking no fusion. So I've got Lysanthier behind me right here. However, the theme of this video is what to do in the joyous time in Raid Shadow Legends when you decide that you are going to skip a fusion. Because is that the most liberating feeling in this entire game?
It's one of the best feelings in the game, I would say, for sure. Maybe closely behind pulling a Void Legendary or something.
Yeah, I'd say the feeling to me is somewhere in between, like you have a big paper due in high school, and then there's a snowstorm and you get an extension or something like that. If anyone, for some reason, or maybe a work deadline, your boss is like, I actually don't need it till Tuesday. Somewhere between that,
like the teacher dies and then you just never have to finish it.
Or you kill the teacher. Yeah, I was going to say that too.
Okay, or sure, yeah.
Maybe we'll cut that. Somewhere between that and then like you had plans and then they canceled. You feel similarly?
Yeah, I can get behind that.
So I think we're both skipping this fusion, right?
Mm-hmm.
Very quickly, I do want to get into why. I actually don't think this guy's that bad, but I think he's a pretty hard skip for 98% of accounts, if not higher. But I think we're just going to take people through what to do in that time. There's a couple different ways you can approach this period, because you can really do a lot of housekeeping on your account. This guy over here, for me, honestly, gun to my head, if he was just like fully formed, I would love him on my account. I do not have AoE decrease speed. I do not have AoE weaken. Right? He's got a cool thing here. We can got a single target hex, and it's on the A1, so you could put out a lot. And then over here, he's got a strictly unique skill where he's going to do this, hit real hard, and he can do extra damage if they've been devoured. Right? So it's going to strictly help you in Hydra. He's got this passive over here that ignores life barrier and ally protect, two very Hydra things. He's good for long battles because he's stacking the defense. So there's a lot here that kind of works. The reason I'm pretty adamantly against him is as much as this all works, the state of Hydra right now, I think you'll agree you're going to be a good person to shed light on this. If you're later endgame, you're still not going to use him. You're going to have all these other things already, and the DPS from all the testing I've seen is just not sufficient. Would you agree with that?
Yeah, I think he's got some cool ideas for abilities, but I think he lacks something that makes it complete enough to justify using.
I think that's put really nicely, and especially complete for anyone that has a full roster of options. And then the other side of that coin is someone like me who has a very limited roster, and I'm actually struggling in Hydra. I would love this guy. However, I know Raid, I know the champion pool, I know I will outgrow him. So how in my right mind am I putting 12 books into this guy? To get this, you need to hit 4 books just to bring this down to a 4-turn cooldown. And this is the skill that would get me most excited. So you just have to be realistic. It's like, yeah, I like him on paper, but he will stay unbooked for probably the entire time I play this account. So it's like, yeah, 5-turn cooldown, decrease speed, weaken. And by the way, he doesn't do these before the attack unless the target's already under hex. So he only does the thing he should do. Like the bonus is just him going back to normal. So all in all, I think he's like half baked, and I think he's a skip for the vast majority of people.
Yeah, 100% agree.
So we're skipping. I'm skipping. You're skipping. There's a couple things to do. So what are you going to do the next 1 week, 6 days, and 23 hours?
I am going to continue pushing my Marius missions primarily. I think I'm trying to work my way through those. I know I'm eventually going to hit a wall that may not be able to get through realistically, but yeah, I'm focusing mostly on that and making food, getting ready to build champs because I don't really have anybody that I'm dying to build right now. So I'm just doing a lot of campaign farming and Marius missions.
I think there's a nice thing you touched on there. It's like, yeah, like great moment to just stock up on food, on fodder, and you can always double dip in the fusion. I mean, there's stuff going on. So like I maxed out this champ training event because why not? I was doing the same thing. That was kind of like, I was like, yeah, there's a couple more 6 stars I want to make over the next 2 or 3 weeks. So let me stock up and, we're working on that. So I think there's a certain kind of person that's like, oh, I'm just going to ignore these because Lysanthier, the guy I want to skip, is on it. But at the end of the day, the game can always hold your hand a little bit, right? With the fusions in the tournament, with the events in the tournaments. Are you trying to get any copies of this guy, or what's your plan?
I don't know. I was looking at him and he's cool, but I'm at a point now where I look at champs and I just think like, why? What would I do with you? I don't have anything I would do with you. So no, I probably won't go for it. If I end up with one indirectly, I'll take it, but I'm not going to specifically go for him, I don't think.
Yeah, when you say that, you mean like you just happen to have done 4 total events or tournaments to the threshold? Yeah.
Like I do enough arena that I usually finish those. I might do enough champ training that I'll finish it indirectly.
Yeah, I think that's really well put, especially for an account of your level. For me, I'm going to go a little hardo on this fusion, I think. So for anyone who wants, we do have a great tool on my website, fastidious.gg/raid/calendar. And this is kind of your fusion planner tracker. So you can go through it, log in, and customize it as you go and kind of set up a plan. So as someone that's going to like, I guess essentially I'm like half doing the fusion, but I'm just going to skip all the summoning stuff because I don't need to actually make it the whole way through Lysanthier. Something else you guys can consider depending on where you are. And like I said, if I was you, J-Gigs, I wouldn't do this. But if I'm me and like this guy actually will help me a lot because I need a cleanser with block debuffs and I want big heals and I have very few void epics, I'm going to go for it. You can just kind of pick and choose. So you actually, nice transition. You talked about the classic arena. I think anyone that plays daily, these are like auto finishes, right? Wouldn't you say?
Yeah, it's one of the very few events that I think is a reasonable like point there.
Yeah.
You will get it just by playing the game. So
If you're on top of your tokens at all, you can even miss a lot of daily tokens and you'll get it, you know?
yeah,
I think you'd have to probably
to finish.
miss a whole day of logging in or something. And even still, you could pay like whatever it is to get a refill, a couple diamonds. But you can see you do one. By the way, with the tool, guys, you can toggle between like not started, in progress, finished, skipping. I'll show you guys that in a second. But over here, you know, you do this, you claim your fragment. So you can see this one up to 25% right next to my head. And then like you said, J-Gigs, you're going to do the other classic arena up to 50%. So there you go. You're halfway there. So, you know, if you just happen to go in on 1 or 2 champ trainings, you happen to go in on a dungeon diver or 2, next thing you know, you've got a copy. So I think that's one approach. I think for me, my approach is going to basically be skip this and definitely skip the hero path. And then I still got like 3.5 on the board, right? So I can get my 3 copies. I get 1, make that guy +1. Then I get another one for Faction Guardian because mine aren't even full. I'm sure yours are very full. And then finally, you've got 50 fragments for mod.
That's pretty slick.
But yeah, and I guess that's the final thing maybe. Do you ever go for these fusions as like a late getting towards the end game player? You know, someone already working through their Marius where your focus is more like, I'm always down to pick up frags because I want mod, or is that just something that happens coincidentally for you?
I never think about her.
Okay.
Actually, I should probably, but it's just one of those things that's so far in the background of my mind that sometimes I'll go in there and I'll see her and I'll go, oh, I wonder if I have any frags I can trade in. But preemptively, I don't think about her at all.
Obviously, you're way further into this than me on your current account and then this current account I'm on. But I actually love that approach because I think if you intentionally took every fusion to like 100 and maxed it out and still just sold the fragments, never actually did them, she would still take it must be at least 2 years or something, right? The RNG in this thing is insane.
It's a long time. I'm loading up my account real quick because I want to see how many frags I have on her. But you think about I'm you know almost 500 episodes in, and I don't make an episode every single day of my life, so the account's a couple years old probably. And I have 15 fragments on her.
1-5?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, there you go.
Isn't that wild?
That is
now
wild.
on my old main where I had a bunch of stuff I could like trade back in on her. I think I've got several more. It's just not something that I'm going to occupy my like effort, my energy with. There's so much more to do and worry about in this game, and I'm like, you know, she's probably fine, but realistically, that's just not something that's on my radar as a possibility.
Yeah. I hard agree. I will say though, these chests can be kind of cheeky, especially for a young account. Like I've gotten a legendary tome from this chest already, so like bags are few and far between, but it's always nice to just have something to dump in there. So definitely something for people to chew on. I was wondering, are you going to do any masteries?
It's a very reasonable, serious question. I actually, if I am not mistaken, am caught up on my mastery farming. I think everybody that I have built that I want masteries on, for the most part, has them. And
That's
again, I'm at a point where
such a flex.
it's a rare one. Yeah, it's a rare one. I guess in some ways it is. In other ways, it's like, damn, it's been a minute since I've pulled somebody I really want to build. I have
true.
a lot of legendaries in my vault that I'll never do anything with, unless Alice. I'm still kind of leaning towards 6-starring Alice just because I think she might be fun.
I love her.
So maybe her, but
I'm president of the Alice fan club. I love her so much. I do think there's an argument that she still should have value, but maybe more limited value. Well, certainly more limited value on a more developed account. But I just think she is the most perfectly designed early mid-game champion for progression you could ever have. That's a story for another day.
she's strong. She has absolutely pushed my shit in a couple times on arena defenses. So
yeah, she's pretty special. But I guess that'd just be a tip for the viewers. Like, it is a cool time. Not everyone is this diligent machine that we all know you are, J-Gigs, that is just caught up on all their masteries. So a lot of people let that slide, and a lot of people, I think, consistently
progressing
are
through
like,
the game at a very high pace.
Yeah, you just go too fast. You're kind of out of control. We've called you the tornado for years, but essentially, yeah. Like I think a lot of people just neglect masteries and they test a hero and they're like, this doesn't work like Nubkex's version, and you're like, well, maybe actually do the proper investment. So it's cool to see that you have. I think these are great moments for people to definitely make that effort. The final thing I'll say is, I think you'll agree with this. Yes. You'll skip the fusion, but yes, I think a lot of us just naturally be like, well, there is a gear enhancement, so why not? And things like that. But definitely don't get fully sucked into that. If you don't want to be doing a spider tournament right now, right? You're waiting for the next event dungeon or something, just don't do it. Don't just blindly follow this stuff.
For gear enhancement, I think skipping gear enhancements is one of the nice parts of skipping a fusion for me, just because they're so fucking expensive now. So unless you want to do a gear cleanse, which is something you could do, I love skipping a gear enhancement event. Personally, yeah.
I'll be honest, I technically do too. However, I have all this instinct gear from the Forge Pass that I've literally been sitting on my hands for. And actually, maybe that's how I'll end the video. Let me flex on the viewers really quickly. Your boy got some gems today. This is what I was doing. The first time I've ever made use of background battles. I was doing my Doom Tower, whatever boss run. And I just was like, finally, I had like 25 million silver, which is laughable that I've gone through 15 million and haven't even maxed the event. But got some gems here I would love to show you. Look at that. You like that?
Not bad.
Not bad, right? Look at that. You like
Not
that
bad
one?
at all. Ooh, yep. That's pretty good.
Day 63 account. You like this one? Maybe a little less, but I like it. Can we do eye contact? Yeah. Well, he'll have a place. He'll have a place. How about this? That's not bad. Actually, kind of bad. Come on. No, I need to find
what's
one
actually
more.
going on here?
Oh, how about this though? Huh? You like that?
Yeah.
You don't like it? This one, I no speed. All right, fine. I get it, dude. Your standards are out of control. All right, this one for a young account. You like that?
Yeah.
Okay.
Pretty good.
All right. That was the fun I had today. Yeah, just because it's tough. I have such little gear. I lean on the Forge Pass so hard, and yeah, so I took that opportunity to go in. And actually, that's a cool final thought I'll have before I finally pass the mic back to you. Normally in a fusion, like with Fabian, I would never push past a threshold. You go for that bare minimum, and then you make sure you're properly spared, so properly saved up, so you don't overdo anything, and then you're screwed on the next one. But for this one, I don't care. So I'm all in, right? So I think that's a cool benefit, because a lot of the times, especially, I mean, for any account, but especially a newer account, the really juicy things that are going to help you so much, it's like, I need all the legendary books I can get. I'm not doing Ultra Nightmare, right? So now I can actually do it, because who cares about saving that energy kind of thing. Yeah,
it would be nice if the events and stuff were a little bit more reasonable all around, that you didn't have to think like this in this game.
Yeah.
That everything wasn't so like you have to weigh the sacrifice of participating. But it is.
So you find this game unreasonable?
Some might say that.
It's pretty funny. I'll leave you with this. I read a comment. I won't be able to dig it up because it was weeks ago. I wish I had saved it, but I kind of thought of you. This person was like, I've been playing Raid for 4 years. I've never done a fusion. I have almost every fusion champ.
I've seen that comment more than once over the years too. Yeah, it's gonna happen. Yeah, well, I years ago when I finished the Pixneal fusion and the day after pulled Pixneal.
You loved that.
I did.
Especially back then.
Yeah, she is. I pull her on every account. She was, I think, my first legendary on this new account too. So,
yeah, is she still dog shit, or did they buff her?
They buffed her, but she is still not really that great. And I think she takes like 17 books. I think to be less than mediocre, and she still takes a lot of books. And for nothing. She likes to read for nothing. All that damage on the A1, who gives a shit?
It is all damage on a support. It's 6 books of damage. All right, this video's gone in a different. It's so bad. This video's gone in a different direction. But actually, I'll make an effort. Let's bring it home. That's kind of Lysanthior's not as bad, and the book reading is not as criminal as Pixneal. But that is a big takeaway. We both fused Pixneal back in the day, and we never frickin' touched her. Because if you ever wanted to touch her, she's not even that good, and you still would need to invest skill ups. He's kind of the same story. Even if he'll help you now, it's not worth the books that you're going to wish you had in the future. So skip it.
Yep.
Enjoy your freedom. Thank you, JGigs. Guys, I'll have JGigs' link in the description and top and comment. I'm actually going to put a link to his other channel, because you want to talk about your new game for like 2 seconds? I see you just destroying this game. I'm seeing multiple videos a day. Looks like you're having the time of your life.
There's a new game that came out called Element Fission. And if you don't know, I started in Summoner's War about a decade ago. And this game was made by a longtime Summoners War player, and they're sort of making the game I guess they wanted Summoners War to be, and it's just I'm having a blast with it, man. A lot of fun. So yeah, I'm pumping out a lot of content on it.
I've watched a few of them and I couldn't understand it less, but the vibes are good. So check it out, guys, and maybe check out the game and Gigs, you're going to walk them through it, take their hand. We'll have both those links in the description and the top and comment. Also, if you want to download Raid, I do have a new link and it is as good as ever. So check that out. 4 free champions that are just fantastic. Start off on the right foot so you can be a little more comfortable skipping fusions because you already have good guys that you want to invest in and build. Thank you guys. Share it with your mother and we'll see you real soon. Bye.
Fastidious.